All right, so let's quickly dive back to the one and only Prince of Persia. So
PFP.
the last time we spoke about it on the podcast, I was about 3 to 4 hours in, and this time on this podcast, I am all done, baby boys.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, let's
Yeah,
go.
so it was awesome. I absolutely cannot recommend enough this game. Truly
To any
one.
gamer or to somebody who likes this kind of game?
Honestly,
Fair
I'm going
point.
to say I think that is a very fair point. I'm going
Is
to
it a
say
Metroidvania?
to any gamer, like I,
Nice.
I
Okay.
think it's
Okay.
I think it's very like from those who do enjoy the Metroidvania genre, it's a no brainer. It's like it's
Okay.
got to be probably one of the better Metroidvanias, honestly, that I've actually ever
Wow.
played. So from
That
that
says a lot.
yeah, so from that standpoint, I would say it's very good. Like at the end of the day, you also have to think about it that this is a triple A Metroidvania, right? Like this coming from Ubisoft, and it's not coming from one of their like kind of back alley studios. Like this is coming from a proper studio, the teams that made Rayman, like kind of people who know what they're doing, right? They actually sunk
UB
some
hard.
serious, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This
We're
is the
UB
UB
hard.
Heart Studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So again, from those who do typically enjoy that style of game, you're in luck. And then for those who don't play this style of game, again, I think it's just polished enough, and there's enough to do. Like for again, like I was saying on the last episode, for someone like Brandon who does like a challenge, you can ramp that up and like you're in for a good time.
Cool.
And then if you want to kind of drive it down, you got that as well. And again, I think it's like the perfect break game, like for both of you. Brandon, you just played, or you just played two big ass open world kind of RPG style games. Like I think for you this is like a beautiful kind of palate cleanser,
Well,
right?
buddy,
So
there's two other games in that mix that we haven't talked about yet.
that's
Oh, no.
cleansing Los Palette.
Very much so.
I mean, but again, I thought it's absolutely wonderful. So the powers that you get, so obviously you have your standard ones, your double jumps, your dash, your things like that. You can also go and basically charge up a throwable that is a weapon. So it comes back to you. You can parry it and it'll shoot it back out again.
Oh,
But
sorry.
you
Your
can
time dagger?
kind of.
Nice.
But what you can actually do with that one is level it up so that when you throw it out, you can click the button again, and it just creates this fucking huge whirlwind of like blades that you can trap your enemy in, which I did and I thoroughly enjoyed. That was definitely part of my standard build. And then what you get later on is you can throw it out and actually teleport to it. So you got some really cool
Oh,
teleporting
wicked.
traversals, things along those lines. Again, I think from a exploration standpoint, it's awesome. From a power standpoint, it's awesome. You get these really cool power surges, they're called, which are, I guess, like kind of like finishing moves, if you will. So you can build up meter. You unlock all these different power surges. I'll go and grab a video now. So yeah, those ones all very, very cool, very helpful for when you're fighting bosses, things along those lines. Boss battles are freaking awesome from a story perspective. So basically, like I was saying in the first one, you are part of this gang of immortals, they're called. So there's 7 of you, and you more or less get framed for a murder. So the team
Badass.
the team is trying to protect the prince, and from
Okay.
there, one of the, like, I guess the leader of these immortals, he goes and actually kills the prince, and then convinces everyone that you did it. So now they're coming after you, and those are kind of some of the big bads in the game. Some of the team believes you, some of them don't, and then those which leads to, I guess, the bigger boss battles of them. So again, cool. The story wasn't revolutionary, but definitely like good enough and like cool enough that I was like, all right, this is like a concept I can get behind, easy to follow.
Well, it has a story.
Yeah, characters are good. And the boss battles are all very sweet. Both like the kind of like smaller the smaller mini bosses all the way up to like last boss, the big bosses, all of those ones there. All of them are kind of unique but similar. They do follow typically that kind of 3-act battle, which you do see
Okay.
in a lot of these styles of games. I will say the side quest stuff, like there are side quests in main quests as well. I don't know. I feel like with the side quests, you kind of like run into everything that you need to do as you're just playing the game. So it's like you don't kind of go out and about, unless you want to really be focusing in on like the collection completion aspect of it. Which again, Eric, I'm sure you'll kind of dive in and
I will backtrack the fuck out of
yeah,
it.
get jiggy with it with that. So again, honestly, Brandon, look at that. Like, come on.
Oh, dude, the super moves
This is
look
proper
look so
Kamehameha.
good.
Yeah, dude. So again, overall, game was really, really solid. Out of any of the games that I've played this year, easily my game of the year so far.
Oh,
No kidding.
So it's on the list for the Guggies, is what you're saying.
Definitely gonna make an appearance later this year on the Guggies. It was
Fucking
sweet.
A.
I will say I kind of one and done it. I finished the game pretty good on a completion level. I think I finished it off with like 88% completion or something along those lines.
That's
No
solid.
real.
You played on PlayStation or
On Switch. On Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know on the last episode, Eric, you actually had asked me if how it held up kind of on handheld mode versus. At that point,
Yeah.
I had only been playing it on the TV with my Pro controller, but I ended up actually playing the vast majority of it on handheld. Perfectly fine. Held up. Felt
Awesome.
great. Yeah, definitely
Excellent.
can recommend both sides of it there. So, yeah, dudes. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, you also said in the last pod that you played it on normal. It's your style of choice generally.
Yes.
How difficult was it on normal? Like, did you find any areas that were challenging? Any enemies that actually killed you a couple of times?
I would say on normal from the standard like you're just running around playing the game. So the enemies that you're encountering on a pretty regular basis, I would say more or less you're good to go. I didn't have really any problems with that. Obviously, you're gonna kind of die here or there, but it's not because of a particular enemy. It just whatever the situation scenarios.
You missed the jump.
Exactly. But so I definitely the boss battles, I will say, died quite a bit. But at the same time, it was never anything that was like, what the fuck, this is unfair. Like once you do learn when you learn when to parry, learn when to dodge. Also going back to the like basically at the trees is where you can go and change your abilities and skills around. So you can also, again, if it's like a flying boss, you can go back to the tree and kind of equip things that will make like more damage when you're in the air, or like stronger projectiles, right? So you can for the boss battles, not to say it's cheesing it, but you can go back and kind of tweak things around to put things in your favor.
Right.
Yeah, that seems like there's something to do intentionally, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So realistically, I had like an everyday build. So like just like a build that I use basically all my exploration, going around doing everything there, and I had a boss build. And kind of like, again, just
I like that idea.
At a play style that I enjoyed. So again, lots of cool range and things blowing up, and yeah, it was really cool. And I will say, I honestly would put it as a positive, but the platforming of the game is like, there are some fucking sections, boys. There are some like some proper platforming sections that some of them are super cheesy, super cheap, like, you know what I mean? They're just there to kill you a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But there are ones that are just like, they're very fun and they're very rewarding when you finish it up.
Okay. Not
So-
like Super Mario World Maker type difficult.
Yeah, I guess some of it, but not nearly as crazy as some of that bullshit.
Okay.
So my question is then, since
Yeah,
you are the GuGernauts resident expert on Metroidvanias,
Yes, sir.
how do you rank this compared to other Metroidvanias? Like, in the grand scheme of your goats of goats, your Hades, your Hollow Knights, where does this fall on that mark?
Oh,
Good
gentlemen.
question.
Okay, so let me hear. I'll quickly share this screen just to have some references of some Metroidvania games. All right, Hollow Knight. I would put it. Hollow Knight is very high up there for me. Hollow Knight super high up.
One of the goats.
If not one, number two. Ooh, and Ori, I would also put very high up on my list. Brandon, you know how
Blind Forest or Will of the Wisps?
I would say Will of the Wisps. I
Yeah.
thought Will of the Wisps. Both of them are incredible. Will of the Wisps has just slightly better mechanics and is more polished all around.
That game. Oh my god, I love
All
that
right,
game.
I'm gonna put Prince of Persia if we're talking about like the big, well, super known ones, I'll put Prince of Persia third to those two, or those, yeah.
Jesus.
So, Hollow Knight, Ori, Prince. But then if I don't know, man, as we start bringing things in, obviously there is the classic, the Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Dread, all fucking beautiful games. I would put it much higher than something like a Blasphemous 2, as well as something like a Axiom Verge. Oh, Guacamelee. When Guacamelee
it's
comes
safe
in.
to say this could be a strong contender for your top 10 Metroidvanias of all time?
Oh, easily, hands down top 10. I'm more trying to think of like maybe a top 5, but easily top 10. There's
you
no...
think it would hit your top 5 though of all time?
I don't know, guys. Guacamelee 2, fucking incredible game. You know what I would even put in my top 5 is Yoku's Island Express. For anyone out here listening, anyone listening who loves Metroidvanias, you got to go check out Yoku's Island Express. Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike did a whole dive on that one on a much earlier episode, and it really did sound good, but I didn't realize it was that good. Like top 5 type of good.
So I would put it up there. Honestly, for the sake of today's review, I'm going to be giving Prince of Persia Lost Crown 9.5 chicken nugs out of 10, boys.
9.5.
I'm really...
Are you taking them dry or are you dipping those bad boys?
You know what? I'm gonna go 9.5 dry.
Sauce.
I'm gonna go 9.5 dry. I'm not. You know, it's already a high score. We're not gonna go like, you know. I'm really excited for one of you to play it and either agree or disagree or
buddy. I almost bought it the other day because it was on sale.
It is on sale right now. Yeah, for our listeners, it is on sale, which does make me sad because I bought it full price, but that's fine. It deserves. I will also say that the game is good enough to warrant a full price, $79.99 Canadian. So, again, lots of high praises, boys. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I have a physical, so any of you can borrow it. Excited to get either and or both of your thoughts and or feedback.
I will definitely play it. I've been looking for a good Metroidvania lately too.
All right, dude. When you're
been
done with
a while
Dragon's
since
Dogma,
I played one.
Hey, dude. No one's claimed it yet. So when you're done with Dragon's Dogma, you give me a shout and consider it yours.
It's no longer on sale on PlayStation.
R.I.P. boys. But you know it is also on PlayStation,
Which it
gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Helldivers 2.